Welcome to the 31st Annual 4-H Tropicana Public Speaking Competition. We're very happy that you joined us this evening. Please take a moment to turn off any cell phones or electronic devices that you may have. If you do need to leave at any time during the competition, if you could please wait to do so in between speeches, we'd really appreciate it. My name is Bridget Alfonso. I am the 4-H Youth Development Agent here in Seminole County with the University of Florida IFAS Extension and Seminole County Government. I've had the pleasure to meet all 17 of our finalists. They are 17 out of 4,876 participants this year. So as I told them in the winners workshop, they should feel like winners already. If you think about it, 17 out of 4,876, they have accomplished a lot. I'd like to say a special thank you to Seminole County Government Television. This event is filmed, and we really appreciate them capturing this special time for our 6th graders. Additionally, a special thank you to the Tropicana PepsiCo Company, who sponsors this event and donates over $3,000 in awards, plaques, and curriculum. I'd like to introduce our judges that we have this evening. They are Mr. Melvin Barnes, who's with Information Technology Services. He's the GIS Program Manager. Ms. Shelda Wilkins is a former 4-H agent and 4-H volunteer. And Alex Borkholder, who is one of our new 4-H interns for the summer. If we have any school board members or members of the county commission, if you could please stand to be recognized. Okay, seeing none, I'd like to introduce our very important people we have this evening, and that is our 17 contestants. We're going to pass the microphone to them, and they're going to introduce their names, their schools, and say a special thank you if they wish to the attendees.
Hi, my name's Taylor Randa, and I come from Sanford Middle School. I would like to say thank you to my family, my teachers, and all my friends that came.
Hi, I'm Callie Evans. I go to Orangewood Christian School, and I would like to thank Miss Hickok, my language teacher.
Hi, my name is Katherine Rotolo. I go to South Seminole Middle School. I'd like to thank my language arts teacher, Miss McAvoy, and my family.
Hi, I'm Natalie Herr. I come from Lawton Childs Middle School, and I'd like to thank my family, friends, and teachers for believing in me and helping me rehearse.
Hi, I'm Emma McDonald. I go to Rock Lake Middle School, and I would like to thank my family.
Hi, I'm Eliza Reynolds. I go to All Souls Catholic School, and I would like to thank my language arts teacher, Mr. Shuey, and my family and friends.
Hi, I'm Piper Ansel, and I would like to thank my language arts teachers, Miss Flanagan and Miss Young, and my family for being very supportive.
Hi, I'm Gabriella TEIXEIRA. I go to Altamont Christian School, and I would like to thank my family and my speech teacher, Mrs. Kent.
Hi, my name is Mia Comas. I go to Teague Middle School, and I would like to thank my mom, grandma, dad, and my language arts teacher, Miss Payne.
Hi, I'm Wyatt EAGAN. I go to Holy Cross, and I'd like to thank my teachers, my family, and my friends.
Hi, my name is Katie Cook, and I go to the Masters Academy, and I'd like to thank everyone who helped me.
Hi, my name is Jordan Fiorica, and I go to Jackson Heights Middle School, and I'd like to thank Miss Woods, Miss DeSanto, my language arts teacher, and my family.
Hi, my name is Imani Burnett. I go to Markham Woods Middle School. I would like to thank my family, friends, and my language arts teacher, Miss Petruso.
Hi, I'm Blake Watts. I go to Double R Private School, and I'd like to thank my family and my friends and my school for being very supportive of me.
Hi, my name is Lahir Herlalka. I come from Millennium Middle School, and I'd like to thank my family and my language arts teacher, Ms. Turner, for being here.
Hello, my name is Aiden Tanner. I go to Tuscaloosa Middle School, and I'd like to thank my mom for pushing me to go to the school competition when I was really sick and all my family members that came.
Hi, my name is Kerrigan Asme. I go to Millwee Middle School, and I'd like to thank my sister for being the inspiration in my speech, my parents for always believing in me, and my grandparents for helping me, and also my language arts teacher, Mr. Bruin, for being so supportive.
And our first speaker this evening will be Taylor Randa from Sanford Middle School with Bus Drivers, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Taylor?
I've ridden the bus for about 7 years. I think 7 years is enough experience to tell you about the many different bus drivers. My speech is called Bus Drivers, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I'm going to tell you about the variety of bus drivers, including the oblivious bus driver, the cool bus driver, and the bitter bus driver. First off is the oblivious bus driver. This is the bus driver who is completely focused on the road, but completely oblivious to anything going on behind them. When you see kids hanging out the windows over Lake Jessup, you know the oblivious bus driver is at the wheel. For car riders going to school calm and collected, get on the bus and it's a wake-up call. Some girl thought it would be awesome to bring a cockroach on the bus and hilarious to fling it down an unsuspecting boy's shirt. Let's just call this boy Tony. Tony did not appreciate a cockroach down his shirt. So after trying to crush it and failing miserably, he did what anyone would do, take off the shirt. Now Tony's hanging out the window over Lake Jessup holding his shirt flapping in the wind. This may seem abnormal, but with an oblivious bus driver, this is a regular occurrence. Next is the cool bus driver. With cool bus drivers, you may see kids hanging out the windows, but for an entirely different reason than the oblivious bus driver. The cool bus driver thinks the bus should be a party bus with cool new jams playing all the way to school, dancing included. Seatbelts on the cool bus? Preposterous. He doesn't even make you sit down. He's the bus driver who gives you candy on the way off the bus and a smile on the way on. Cool bus drivers are in high demand these days, so if you have a cool bus driver, make the most of it. If you want to know about the exact opposite of a cool bus driver, it's the bitter bus driver, aka the fun crusher. Just for a second, relive a day when you're anxious to get out of school as soon as possible. The bell just rang, you're on the bus, you're in your neighborhood 5 minutes away from break, and bam, the bitter bus driver says, I know you're only 5 minutes away from break and trying to catch up with friends before not seeing them for like a few months, but I don't care. Shut up until we get off the bus, or we may just stay on until you guys stay quiet. What's going through my head at that moment is really, like you're gonna make us stay on the bus all night long. You gonna make us go back to the bus barn with you? If you start thinking like this, get away immediately. The bitter bus driver is rubbing off on you and making you bitter too. The next time you ride by a bus, or get on a bus, try to name the bus driver. You have 3 options: the oblivious bus driver, the cool bus driver, and the bitter bus driver. Or, in other words, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Thank you, Taylor. A little bit of interesting facts about Taylor. She cheers at Sanford. She's in her speech and debate class, and she's been running since she was 3 years old. Our next speaker is going to be Callie Evans from Orangewood Christian School. She has a lot of pets, loves to sing, and her favorite subject in school is language and literature. Callie Evans, please come on up to present your speech, What Did You Say?
Zzz,
What is that, you may ask? That is the sound of ringing in your ears after a rock concert. We don't think about the damage in our ears. Some people put the decibels too high so they can be in their own world for a while. What are decibels, you may ask? Decibels, or dB, are the measurement of sound. Rock concerts have from 110 dB to 140 dB. When at a rock concert, the music is loud for 3 hours. On top of that, they're screaming. Another way that decibels can damage your hearing is from listening to music really loud. It can occur just from listening to music the whole time you're on a plane. The best way to prevent this is keep your music on a 5 to 6 decibel measurement. Sound can be loud and soft. But did you know that sound has side effects after listening to it for a long time? The side effects are ringing, roaring, hissing, buzzing, muffled sound, and difficulty understanding speech. Ringing can occur after being in nightclubs, concerts, parties, and being too close to a speaker. The ringing happens in just 1 hour and 15 minutes after being at any of those places and can last from 24 hours to 1 year. Over 5.2 million people have suffered from hearing loss. There are ways we can prevent hearing loss. One is by buying headphones that cover the whole ear because earbuds don't block outside noise. Another way to prevent hearing loss is sitting at least 10 feet away from speakers. And last of all, ask if others around you can hear your music. If so, then it's too loud. Nowadays, parents are asking their children to either turn down their music or take off their headphones. And I can understand that kids like to jam on their music, but you should only listen for 15 minutes through headphones per day. Another thing to do is listen for 5 minutes, take a break, and repeat. In conclusion, hearing loss happens every day in a slow process. We just don't realize it till it's too late. If you hear ringing in your ears, you should call a doctor immediately. According to Scholastic News, a teenager was hosting a party, and the next morning, ringing started in his ears. "It's the most uncomfortable noise in the world," he said. I think that if we all chip in and turn down our music, the number of people suffering will be no more.
Our next speaker will be KATHYRN ROTOLO from South Seminole Middle School. She's been a vegetarian for 2.5 years. She loves to sing and take voice lessons, and she wears contacts.
What if you could save both animal and human lives, improve the condition of the environment, as well as your own health, all in one simple action? Sound like the life of a superhero? Anyone can impact their world this way by becoming a vegetarian. Farming today has changed drastically over the past few decades. The images of animals grazing in the fields doesn't exist anymore. Today's farms resemble factories filled with cages and conveyor belts. Animals are treated as commodities, and it's all about profit. Eating meat is becoming more and more hazardous to Americans' health. Animals raised in farm factories live in warehouses, never seeing the outdoors. They are in overcrowded or small cages, hardly able to move, let alone turn around or sit down. Naturally, animals forced to live under such stressful conditions become weak and ill, and are regularly given antibiotics, which we, in turn, consume. Approximately 80% of all beef consumed by America is injected with these growth hormones to help them grow faster and produce more milk. Besides these harmful additives Americans are consuming in their meat, consider the known effects of a carnivorous diet. Reducing the amount of animal fat you eat can greatly lower your cholesterol. Heart disease and stroke are one of the main causes of death in America and can be prevented by reducing the amount of animal fat you ingest. The business of animal production is infecting the environment on every level. Raising animals for food generates more greenhouse gases than all the planet's vehicles combined. One farm factory generates as much as waste as an entire city. An average-sized American pig farm uses nearly 75 million gallons of water a year, also as much as a city. Eating a vegetarian diet can help protect rainforests as well. About 80% of deforested land in the Amazon is used as cattle pasture. In addition to protecting the environment and helping to take care of your health, a vegetarian diet also helps with the ever-growing problem of world hunger. 70% of all grain grown in the world is fed to farmed animals. You could feed the 60 million people who are suffering from malnutrition and starvation with that. An acre of land can generally produce around 40,000 pounds of potatoes or 50,000 pounds of tomatoes, but only 250 pounds of beef. By feeding the animals these vegetables and then eating the animals, We waste more food than if we were to just eat the vegetables and crops directly. It is very beneficial to become a vegetarian. However, for those not willing to discontinue eating meat altogether, there is another option. Buying animal products from local sustainable organic farms means you're consuming meat that hasn't been injected with antibiotics or growth hormones. The animals are raised and fed naturally and treated humanely. These farms are also better for the environment, but consider becoming a superhero for the animal's sake, as well as your own, and become a vegetarian.
Up next, we will have Natalie Hare from Lawton Childs Middle School. Natalie enjoys playing the French horn, playing soccer, and she's lived in 3 different states. Natalie Hare, please come on up and present your speech on the benefits of a smile.
While there may be thousands of reasons to cry, there are millions of reasons to smile. In fact, I'm smiling because I was presented the opportunity to speak today. The truth is, there are many hidden benefits to a smile that are simply overlooked by others. Believe it or not, smiling can improve health, it makes you more likely to lead a successful career, and it can expand your friendship circle. Just by turning those corners up on a regular basis, you can live a longer life. Smiling has been proven to relieve stress. Why? When we smile, the muscles in our face trigger endorphins. Endorphins are responsible for making us feel happiness. They're also responsible for relieving stress. When we trigger endorphins, our brain interprets them and they are then released, therefore making us happier and more relaxed. Because this simple task relieves stress, it also slows our heart rate. This means our hearts can beat without overworking. People consequently live longer due to the decreased chance in heart disease and other heart-related illnesses. Endorphins also act as natural painkillers, so next time you bump your elbow, just laugh it off. A second advantage to smiling is the higher chance in leading a successful career. It's been proven that those who smile are given a more confident visage, therefore making them more likely to obtain a job. Smiling also comes in handy when being a leader. Smiling makes people seem less intimidating, therefore making peers more comfortable in work conditions. Studies reveal that smiling also leads to an increase in productivity, meaning that you get work done faster. Smiling is also convenient because it helps us upgrade socially. In other words, it helps us make friends. Smiling makes people seem more approachable because it makes us seem younger and more attractive. Those who smile are also more likely to be conceived as trustworthy, and trust is a major part of friendships as well. Besides, smiling not only builds our happiness, it improves the moods in others as well. 50% of people respond to a smile by returning the favor. Because we have them grinning, it gives others the benefits previously stated. As mentioned earlier, smiling can provide many advantages to one's life. Just by turning those corners up, you can live a longer, happier life with friends by your side and a successful career. So show off those pearly whites and improve your life.
Emma McDonald from Rock Lake Middle School. A little bit about Emma. She loves dogs, loves music, and she loves schools. Emma will be presenting the red thread. Come on up.
There's an ancient Chinese belief that states when a child is born, an invisible red thread connects that child's soul to those people present and in the future who will play a part in that child's life. For me, my red thread started in China, stretched to Kansas, and then stretched to Florida. Before I was adopted, I lived in an orphanage, and my red thread connected me to many other babies and nannies. I slept in a crib and spent most of my time in a walker. Even though I was so small, my feet wouldn't touch the floor. When the weather got cold outside, the nannies would dress me in many layers of clothes because there was no heat inside the orphanage. I was trained to drink an entire bottle of rice cereal in less than a minute because they had lots of babies to feed. Because of my red thread, I'm still connected to the other 8 baby girls that were adopted at the same time as me and also live in the United States. In January 2004, my parents started paperwork to adopt me before I was even born. They had to fill out lots of forms to prove that they were healthy and would provide a good home for me. In January 2005, they received a referral with 3 pictures and information about me. The referrer said I was healthy, but soon after they got the referral, I got very, very sick. I was in the hospital because I had pneumonia and the viral encephalitis. I almost died. As a result of the illness, I use an FM system, which is my earpiece and the microphone my teachers wear, because the illness affected how my ears and brain work together. My red thread brought my parents and I together 2 days before my first birthday. After adoption, I spent the next 10.5 years in Kansas. My red thread connected me to many friends. It especially connected me to my best friend, Nancy. Our connection is so strong she feels more like a sister than a friend to me. She was my neighbor and we played together, went to school together, and went to church together. We were inseparable. It was very hard to tell Nancy I was moving away. Since moving here, I've gone back to visit her once, and I hope to go back to visit her again soon because I miss her every day. My life so far has been quite an adventure. It started in an orphanage in Hunan, China, stretched across the ocean when I was adopted, and stretched even further when my family moved to Florida. I'm not sure what the future holds, but it is comforting to know I'll always have a red thread that will connect me to those who are important to me. Who does your red thread connect you to?
Up next, we will have Katie Cook from the Masters Academy. Katie would like to share that she is a twin. She was born on Leap Day, and she's ziplined through Costa Rica. Come on up, Katie, and present your speech on built-in best friend.
Is there someone in your life who, even on your worst days, can make you smile? Someone who, when you're on the brink of going crazy, this one person can pull you back to sanity? My twin sister Libby has always done this for me. Growing up, I was never bored. I had a built-in best friend. There was always another person to play with, another person to share with, and another person to laugh with. I don't know if any of you know this, but Libby has the most contagious laugh. Once she starts laughing, I can only try to suppress a giggle, but in the end, we are both hysterically laughing, unable to stop. Honestly, I can't imagine my life without Libby. There would be no laughter, no fun, no joy. Don't get me wrong, we aren't joined at the hip. We are two very different people. Anyone can see that physically, but we have our own friends, our own activities, and our own personalities. But it's the times that we are apart that I realize how much I depend on her. Without my twin, the solitude is deafening. Our relationship isn't perfect. There have been times when we both just need our space. Being together every minute of every day can sometimes drive us crazy. So, when Libby and I were 8, we decided that this summer we would go to different camps. We thought this would be good for us, a little bit of space, some time to have to ourselves, but were we ever so wrong? My 5-day, 4-night camp dream turned into a nightmare. It was the longest time Libby and I had ever been apart from each other. No matter what I did at camp, I couldn't help but think how much more fun everything would be with my built-in best friend by my side. 2 days had gone by, and I was already missing her like crazy. By the time the end of the week came, I was beside myself with excitement to see her. The minute the bus pulled into the pickup lot, I found my twin and I embraced her joyfully. We both knew that separation for a week was way too long, and that day, me and Libby finally understood how much we needed each other. Philippians 1:3 says, I thank God in all my remembrance of you. This scripture describes my built-in best friend, sister exactly. I am forever grateful for my twin sister Libby.
Up next, we'll have Wyatt Egan from Holy Cross Lutheran Academy. He's a big Star Wars fan, likes fishing, and he's a drummer. Wyatt, please come on up and present the benefits of being a Boy Scout.
Hi, I'm Wyatt, and today I'm going to talk about the benefits of being a Boy Scout. One of the many things that you learn from being a Boy Scout is life skills. One of the life skills you learn is citizenship. Citizenship means knowing your rights and responsibilities as a U.S. citizen. Another life skill we learn is to be environmentally conscious. To be environmentally conscious means to treat your environment with respect and leave your surroundings cleaner than it was than when you got there. One phrase we use to remember this is to take nothing but photos, leave nothing but footprints. We also learn many survival skills. We learn to tie mini knots, such as hitches, lashings, and other basic knots. Knowing a good, sturdy knot can mean the difference between life and death. We also learn many ways to start a fire. Most of the scouts of my troop bring flint and steel as a fire starter, and dry iron with candle wax melted over it as tinder. In a survival situation, you need to make a shelter before it gets dark. One way to do this is to make a lean-to out of palm fronds and logs leaned against a tree. You can also use a basic tarp as an emergency shelter. When in the woods, you should be able to identify the local flora and fauna, or plants and animals. That can help you tell the difference from what might be helpful to what might be dangerous. We also learn many practical skills, such as communications, carpentry, welding, cooking, and basic operation of vehicles. However, one of the most important skills that we learn is to be able to work with others, both in a leadership role and as a team member. But being in Boy Scouts is not all work. You get to have fun in the process. Some of the ways that we like to have fun are to go canoeing, swimming, camping, participate in shooting sports, and go fishing. In summary, by learning and practicing life skills, survival skills, practical skills, and having fun in the process, you earn merit badges and ranks. The highest rank you can earn is Eagle Scout. Becoming an Eagle Scout can open many doors for you that may otherwise be closed. Successful men who have earned this rank have gone on to be presidents, military leaders, astronauts, and sports figures. It is my goal to earn this rank by my 16th birthday. Please support your local Scout troops and their activities.
Our next speaker will be Mia Comas from Teague Middle School. Mia plays soccer. Her favorite band is 21 Pilots, and she likes to draw things. Mia will be presenting Too Connected to Technology. Mia, come on up.
10 years ago, it would have been absurd for friends to sit in a room together and not say a single word. Now, it's normal, and it sometimes seems like the very technology meant to help people is instead taking over their lives. According to a Time Mobility poll, 84% of people surveyed said they couldn't go a whole day without their phones. People are basically prisoners of their own device. People spend too much time on technology, that's for sure, and there are multiple negative effects associated with that. According to mobileinsurance.com, the average amount of time spent on a phone in the average person's life is 3.9 years, or 5 hours a day. On your deathbed, will you really think, oh, I am so glad I spent 4 years of my life making 6-second videos and taking photos of what I ate for lunch? Probably not. With this much technology time comes isolation, because being in your own virtual world decreases time with those who actually care about you, as well as back and neck pain from looking at a phone those 5 hours a day. Bad sleep habits, because the light from your phone messes up sleep patterns right before bed. And obesity, because people can't exercise while they're texting, can they? However, there are some good things about technology. I mean, according to NASA, modern cell phones have more knowledge and power than computers used to operate spaceships in the Apollo era. With this much power comes amazing things. People can connect to other people in other countries and share ideas, something that would be impossible otherwise. Students can use laptops in education to access a goldmine of information on virtually anything. And as well as this, people can be entertained from things such as satellite radio or just normal TV. Technology is good, but society still needs to cut back, and here are some ways you can do that. First off, take phones out of the bedroom. As stated before, the light disrupts sleep patterns, but also, the temptation to use it is just too great. Second, exercise. Not only is this just good for the mind and body, but it also keeps you away from your phone. Third, set up a reward system. If you go a certain amount of time without technology and accomplish a certain task, then reward yourself with something you find enjoyable, such as ice cream or a movie. Technology does have its benefits. Just remember, everything in moderation.
Our next speaker will be Gabriella TEIXEIRA from Altamont Christian School. A little bit about Gabriella. She's been dancing for 9 years. She likes to play volleyball, and she has a lead role in her dance and acting recital. Gabriella, please come on up for Creating Your World.
What are you daydreaming about right now? We all use our imagination and creativity, but what makes all of ours unique and different is the way we use it. The dictionary definition of imagination is the ability of the mind to form pictures of things that are not present or real. Creative power originally. The dictionary states that creativity is the use of imagination or original ideas, especially in the production of artistic work. This is how skyscrapers and theme parks are made. When one person uses their imagination to come up with new ideas, shares those ideas with others, and they create something great and something we all enjoy. Think of just some of the times you have either created or imagined something. Has it come true? How do we use our imagination and creativity? If anyone has ever read you a story that involved action or romance, you most likely used your imagination to picture what you would look like as one of the characters of that story. This is one way to use our imagination. We use our creativity basically the same way. We just create the ideas made by our imagination. The most common way we see creativity being used is in art, like paintings, sculptures, and different items in museums. Besides ourselves using our imagination and creativity, there have been many people known for their creative ability, just like Walt Disney. He was once fired from a newspaper company for his so-called lack of creativity. Even though he had gone through ups and downs, it was the downs that motivated him to do better. Now we have Walt Disneyland and Walt Disney World. Salvador Dali was another extremely imaginative and creative artist. One of his creations was the lobster telephone. There's even a museum dedicated to him in St. Petersburg with his artwork all throughout the museum. He took his imagination and creativity and brought it to life for all to see. These are just two out of the billions of amazing, creative, and imaginative people. And we are all a part of those people. Imagine if everything you saw was from your very own imagination. Now that would be creating your world. We all have a different imagination. That's what makes us unique. So, what are you going to daydream about next?
Our next speaker will be Piper ANCEL. Piper is from Indian Trails Middle School. She loves to play lacrosse. She loves cats and has 3 of them as well as a hamster. She plays the clarinet and will be learning the bass clarinet over the summer. Piper will be presenting Be the Change. Come on up, Piper.
Warmth, comfort, security, love. These are all things that many people in this world are surrounded with, but seem to take for granted. It is very difficult to understand the severity of an issue known as homelessness. This topic tends to be overlooked quite often by several. This problem has been approached by a few, but on the other hand, it still stands in our society. First and foremost, like I said, this affair has been addressed by a handful of people. 2 years ago, when I was in 4th grade, I had the honor of being a part of my school's student council. We took a field trip to a homeless shelter to donate the blankets that we had collected from a recent blanket drive at school. Before I continue, I must say that we had no idea what the experience would be like because we were not 100% educated on this topic. When we arrived there, we walked inside and were approached by a lady who informed us that she would be leading the tour. As we walked through the hallways, we got to see bunches of different rooms and learn a bit about what they were each used for. Continuing on, she seemed to treat all of the people there with such kindness and sincerity. When we passed by another room, which in this case happened to be lined from wall to wall with stacks of beds, she noticed that there was a man resting on the ground instead of in his bed. She approached this situation as if it had happened before and was feeling sympathy for him. This showed me that he was so used to not being granted the privilege of sleeping in a bed that he did not know any different from sleeping on the cold, hard floor. This reminded me of an old saying, "You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make him drink." Equally important, I wanted to touch on the fact that so many people take what they feel are necessities for granted. When you go to bed at night and tuck yourself into warm covers, or cool down in a nice cold shower after a long day in the hot sun, it is normal for you to familiarize yourself with those luxuries. On the other hand, there are people out there who struggle to find clothing or food to eat, let alone outfits for numerous occasions or home-baked desserts. Now, I am not trying to take away from the fact that some people work very hard and deserve time to relax and enjoy their evenings. But after a while, many people do not tend to realize what they could do for others. All things considered, we have realized that it takes time to make the difference. So let us start now. The difference that could change the way things function in this world. The difference in which people will no longer have to sleep on park benches. The difference that could overall change society and bring shelter to those who are in need of it. In order for this to happen, it must start with one step. And that first step is you.
Our next speaker will be ELIZA Reynolds from All Souls Catholic School. She has two birds named Floppy and Kiwi. She's on her school's student government, and she likes to visit new places. ELIZA will be presenting A Cause Worth Fighting For. Come on up, ELIZA.
Pushing, hitting, shoving, and insults. Bullying is a big problem in today's schools. Did you know that 30% of today's students are involved in bullying? The term bullying and being bullied are commonly misused. Most people think that if one time someone said something mean that upset them, that they're being bullied and the person that said it is a bully. But in reality, the term bullying means that someone's picking on the same person for an excessive amount of time. How would you like it if on a day-to-day basis you were being picked on and pushed around? I know I wouldn't, but there are people who have to go through their school day like this. Of the 30%, 77% of them are being verbally or mentally bullied, which is also known as verbal abuse. Verbal abuse can be performed for many different reasons and in many different ways. It usually consists of yelling obscenities or spreading rumors. Someone usually bullies someone based on their gender, religion, race, appearance, because they're emotionally stressed or because they are having a bad childhood. Verbal abuse affects its victims in more than one way. For example, most will be scared to go to the bathroom in fear of someone waiting there to harass them. And a lot of them will also make excuses to getting around having to go to school. Of the 77%, 14% of them will have a really bad reaction to the bullying. They tend to have depression, poor self-esteem, anxiety, and even suicidal thoughts. As you most likely noticed, social media like Facebook and Instagram are growing more popular. And with this increase in social media comes a growth in cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is when someone comments negatively on a photo or posts a mean photo. Did you know that 35% of today's students have actually been threatened online? And while an interview was going on, they were talking to some victims, and about half of them said that at one point they had considered to use violence against their bully to try to stop it. And while interviewing others, about half admitted to saying something mean or hurtful to another online more than once. With this growth in cyberbullying comes a growth in youth violence, including suicide and homicide. The numbers that you just heard are too high, and we need to do something to lower them. You might be thinking, what could we do to help? Well, the answer is simple. You need to tell someone. Tell an adult, a teacher, a parent, anybody. Don't just stand there and watch. Bullies usually pick on those weaker than them. So if we all stand up together as one, the number of suicidal and depressed teens can drop. And always remember, the end of bullying begins with you.
Up next, we will have Jordan Fiorca from Jackson Heights Middle School. Jordan is in her Jackson Heights Middle School Winter Guard. She has a pony named Gigi, and she wrote a poem as her speech. Jordan, please come on up and present why the arts are important.
Arts are important, yes they are. Arts are important, they make you shine like a star. SATs improve with the arts. 91 points, well that's quite a start. 4 years in art, that's all you need. If you take those years, then scientists believe you'll be motivated, stronger, inspired, and you'll work harder. This has been proven many, many, many times, and it will keep on being proven for many more lifetimes. The arts can also help you with your hand-eye coordination, and for at-risk youth, they can help you stay away from medication, aggravation, and the police station. Art helps most children develop even faster, and with creativity, they won't be a disaster. Arts also help kids express themselves in many, many different ways, and if they take art regularly, they're more likely to get A's. Arts also make kids very, very, very happy, and if kids are happy, we're all less snappy. Different areas of the arts affect different areas of your body, like theater can help you become somebody. You can also develop good interpersonal skills, and those really help you out, so you don't always run to the hills. And the most important reason of all, to not let the arts fall, is because you make friends that are in on the same trends. When you're in arts, you meet people like you, but you have to remember they have other friends too. You don't want to latch on and make them go away, you want to bond with their friends so even more stay. Arts are like parents. In a strange way, they can help you get your bearings each and every day. They're always there for you, even when you're wrong. They can make you feel better. They can make you feel strong. So if you want to graduate and not be a bad guy, and you have big dreams, don't tell the arts goodbye. If you want to own a business, you want to make an NBT. If you want to own a castle, don't throw the arts to the sea. Because arts are important, yes they are. Arts are important, they make you shine like a star.
Our next speaker will be Yamani Burnett from Markham Woods Middle School. A few facts. She has just moved here from West Virginia. She will soon be a sibling of twins, and it's her first year on a basketball team. Come on up, Yamani, with child abandonment.
Can you imagine being 3 years old, left alone for a long period of time, without food, water, or even a place to use the restroom? Can you imagine what that must be like? I know I couldn't, so let's ask ourselves one question. What exactly is child abandonment? In many states, child abandonment is considered a felony, even if the child has not been physically harmed. In other states, it's considered as a misdemeanor or a minor wrongdoing, says a source from legaldictionary.net. Even though laws differ from state to state, each one recognizes specific circumstances that give the child an unsafe environment. The most common reasons for termination of parental rights of a guardian are as followed. Abandonment of the child, of course, which is when a parent or guardian rejects a child of their needs, such as physical health, safety, or even welfare. Abuse or neglect of other children in the home, physical or sexual abuse, long-term mental illness by a parent or guardian, or even long-term drug or alcohol use by a parent or guardian, which is when a parent or guardian leaves their child for a long period of time to go consume or buy drugs or alcohol. I have heard of a story a few years ago. A father left his daughter for nearly 9 hours to go drink in the summer. She was 7 months old and she died of heat stroke. Another reason might be failure to maintain contact with or support of the child. Now, children have different mental effects because of the abandonment. These mental effects can include, but are not limited to, anxiety. Maybe the child's naturally worried. Depression. Maybe they're depressed because of all the attention they are not receiving. Dissociation, which is separation or disconnection. Academic problems. Maybe they're not focused in class. They might have difficulty connecting with others, and they might even have trouble sleeping. Children develop different ways that they handle the abandonment. These ways that children develop can include, but are not limited to, eating disorders. Maybe the child eats too much, or the child might not even eat at all. Drug use. The child might take drugs to make them feel better, which only lasts for a little bit, which of course results in them taking more. Then their brain will become polluted with the drugs. They might be more likely to commit suicide or self-harm. They might have trouble sleeping, and they might have discomfort with physical touch. Conclusively, child abandonment can affect many children so many different ways. So before you go and judge someone by their appearance, take a good, clear look at them. Have a conversation with them. And if you really think a child is being mentally or physically harmed, tell an adult or someone you trust immediately.
Our next speaker will be Blake Watts from R Private School. He was born in Hawaii. He played baseball for 2 seasons, and he studies the art of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Blake will be presenting Malaysia Airline 370. Come on up, Blake.
Do you know what happened to Malaysian Airline 370? Some people say they do, some people say they don't. Well, I'm about to tell you what I know is true. MH370 was departing from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing on March 8, 2014, when air traffic control lost communication with it. Despite what some call one of the largest searches of the southern Indian Ocean, no trace of the aircraft was found, except for a barnacle-encrusted flapper on Reunion Island, more than 2,300 miles away from the main search site. The people who were searching for missing pieces of the wreckage were using specialized underwater drones that could handle immense water pressure and sonar equipment. The Prime Minister of Australia, Warren Truss, said that he was positive the remains of the aircraft would be found. On board the airplane at the time of its disappearance were 227 passengers, 7 of which were children. It's kind of sad to think that children had to be put through the process of a plane crash. Investigations of the missing aircraft say that the air traffic control lost communication about 1 hour after departure. No distress signals or messages were sent. At 12:41 in the morning, MH370 departed from Kuala Lumpur and was due to arrive at 6:30 a.m. in Beijing. At 1:19 a.m., one of the last full communications was sent. Investigations revealed the co-pilot said, "All right, good night," which is kind of mysterious. At 2:15 in the morning, Thai radar logs confirmed that the plane turned west and then north over the Andaman Sea. At 8:11 a.m., the last full communication was sent. And the last location confirmed that the plane was stretching north between Thailand and Kazakhstan. This plane hasn't been missing that long. The last plane to disappear, Air France 447, took 2 years to find, and it was found at the bottom of the ocean. Maybe this plane suffered a similar fate. Who knows? But one thing's for sure. Over time, we'll be able to find it. And when we do, we'll finally know what happened to it.
Our next speaker will be Leher Harlarka from Millennium Middle School. She's great at swimming, tennis, and annoying her brother. She plays the viola and the piano, and she became a black belt in Taekwondo. Leher will be presenting what every adult can learn from a kid.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sure that we all know of an adult that falls under the following categories: tired, boring, lazy, or just frustrated. Well, today I will name a few things that adults cannot learn from school, but can learn from us kids. Grown-ups, get ready for class because your new teachers are children.
To begin, most kids are considered happy campers because you never see a frown on their face for long. Think about it. Kids are stress-free because they play. On the contrary, stress and pressure on an adult causes their smile to disappear. If every adult were to take just a few minutes out of their busy schedule to play a game, they could also be as mentally fit and as happy as kids. Besides that, toddlers are hyper. They're always moving around and getting sufficient exercise. That leads me to the fact that obesity is a big problem in the United States. In fact, over 1/3 of the entire adult population is considered to be obese. The grown-ups need to move around and get more exercise, just like us little ones. Not to mention that the cranky, scolding parents need a lot more sleep, just like newborn babies. Additionally, kids imagine and dream. They believe that they are great and will succeed even after failing a few times. Many adults have lost faith in themselves after just failing once. All I can say to that is that when you feel like quitting, think about the reason why you started in the first place. Finally, teenagers carry out with their plans because they are fearless. Today, it's not uncommon for adults to plan something but not carry it out because they're afraid of failure. Grown-ups, forget about your fears and go for it. Most times, your plans will turn out great. You just need to try. In summary, although adults often teach us, they still have a lot to learn from us too. And hey, if an adult doesn't want to listen to me, they might as well listen to Peter Drucker, a famous educator. We now accept the fact that learning is a lifelong process of keeping aware of change, and the most pressing task is to teach someone how to learn.
Up next, we will have Aiden Tanner from Tuscaloosa Middle School. He loves weather. His favorite beach is Siesta Key, and he teaches his dogs tricks. Aiden will be presenting a narrative of the horror of the Joplin tornado.
Survivors of tornadoes say they sound like freight trains. They say the damage is like the thunder of God. I always thought these people were being babies. It's just wind, people. I stopped saying that, though, after May 22nd, 2011. I was at my house, home alone, in my bedroom, on the second story. My eardrums were bursting with pain, so I looked out my window, just to see how bad the weather was. When I opened my curtain, I saw the mile-wide tornado heading on a direct path to my house. I started running down the stairs to get to the first-story laundry room. It was too late, though. The evil, destructive, colossal black cloud had ripped the second-story roof clean off. I took one more step down the stairs, but then the stairs acted like feathers in the sky. The tornado shook me in its grasp and flung me into the first-story living room. I landed on the dining table. I got up instantly knowing the laundry room was not far away. As I swiftly moved to the laundry room, a 2x4 piece of wood slammed into my back and knocked me to the hard tile floor. As I laid on the floor, in pain, I saw that pieces of wood were acting like missiles and the sharpest pieces of glass were acting like torpedoes. It was extremely chaotic. Soon after that, the whole second story and the roof of the first story slowly slid away and disappeared into the tornado. Then I stood up. With all the energy in my body gone, I knew I had to fall down the set of stairs leading to the laundry room. When I fell down the set of stairs into the room, I became unconscious. After the storm was over, I woke up and dug my way through the rubble. I saw everything was demolished for miles. My town, gone. My house, gone. My family, gone. The tornado killed 158 people and injuring about 1,500 people. The tornado caused about $3 billion in damages. Nobody in Joplin, Missouri had a warning. I have never judged a tornado story ever since. In this tornado, no one was safe.
And And last but not least, we will have Kerrigan Asme from Milwee Middle School. She likes to play percussion. She has a dog named Rex, a cat named Pepper, and a bird named Petey. She likes comedy and Carol Burnett. Kerrigan, please come on up and present The Little Engine.
We all have nicknames that our parents gave us somewhere along the way, like Peanut, Buddy, or even Boo. And some of us don't even know how we got these nicknames. Well, from the time I was very little, my mom always referred to me as her little engine. And today, I'd like to share with you why. You see, when I was born, yes, with this head full of red hair and face full of freckles soon to follow, I was born the second daughter. The first daughter was smart, talented, and pretty from the start, placing in this, placing in that, grades, music, talent competitions, spelling bees, awards and recognitions came easily to her. She was even pre-IB Student of the Year and elected student body president. Somehow, as proud of her as I was always trying to be just as great as she was. I tried this and that, but still didn't excel. Sure, I had great grades, but I worked hard for my A's. My parents were always proud and supportive of me, but I wanted to do something that would exceed their expectations. I tried soccer. I was the peppiest player on the field, but I was afraid to kick the ball. I joined chorus, but was never given a solo. And so I kept trying to find my special talent. Then, one day, I decided to audition for a production of Annie. This was way outside of my comfort zone, and I almost chickened out, but I auditioned and waited for the results. And to my surprise, I landed a lead role. I got the part of Miss Hannigan. Practices were long and took up most of my Saturdays, but after months of preparation, the curtains opened. I stood on stage extremely nervous, but decided to give it my all. And after the final act, I was able to look up into the audience and see people clapping and cheering. Then I saw my big sister, standing, clapping, and crying. It was at that moment that I realized why my mom always called me her little engine. Because it may have taken me longer, and I may have had to work harder, but with patience and perseverance, in the end, I realized my passion. So, this may be a spoiler, but in the end, the little engine could. So take your time, find your own passion, and you too can be the little engine that could.
I will now announce, starting with our honorable mention. Please come on up, Aiden Tanner. In third place, Taylor Randa. In second place, Mia Comas. And our first place winner of our 31st annual Tropicana competition, who will also be receiving a full scholarship to 4-H summer camp this July, is Yumani Burnett with Child Abandonment. If I could have another round of applause for all of our contestants this evening. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. We are so proud of all 17 of our finalists, and we hope that you continue to speak in public. Congratulations. You're welcome to take pictures.